Recording. Hola.
Hello,
everyone. I said hello at the same time as Tamara. It was like dual sound. Welcome to the recording. We've got the three of us today. Adam is off on vacation, enjoying his time off. I hope he's having a grand time on vacation.
Smoking cigars and sipping whiskey.
He probably is. He's probably barbecuing something too, if I had to guess.
And playing video games.
Yes.
Probably. Those are probably the things Adam is doing. He's probably having a grand old time. So we have our updates for this week. Not too many, only 16. So we'll probably get through this pretty quickly. I'm going to start with Tom. Tom, why don't you talk to us about what is in development?
Wow. I think I have one that I want to mention.
Probably the one we were joking about before we started.
Yeah, before we started the recording. So Microsoft Teams assign seats in Together mode. Allow meeting organizers to assign seats to participants in Together mode. This is going out to worldwide GCC, GCC High, and DoD. We're at a loss. That's all we can say, folks. It's like, really, you need to assign seats in Together mode in a virtual world? The only thing I can think of is that, if you have some really, hard and fast hierarchy in your company and you don't want the CEO sitting next to the file clerk in a meeting and they happen to show up together, I don't know. I don't get the rationale for this one, and I can't imagine ever using it. But hey, that's me.
Maybe it's kids in a classroom. Maybe it's training so you can know who's there. Maybe it's for a photo op. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose that if you were teaching and it was a multi-day course and you wanted to, have like a picture and you could write the name so you could call on people. Okay, fine, I guess. I'm still.
I did have a friend who got in trouble for emailing out a message to people and did not put the people in the to line in order of hierarchy.
Oh, wow.
So she had people who were lower down on the stack first. And I'm like, that is somebody caring way too much.
I'm going to give you a secret. I don't even know people's hierarchy. So we'll start with that. All right. Well, that's crazy. Tamara.
Yeah, that gets it started for me.
Yeah, what do you have in development that you think is exciting?
SharePoint content type deletion, improved error messaging. This could be so cool. So if you attempt to delete multiple content types from the content type gallery, which have dependencies on other lists and content types, you'll get an improved error message that lists the list in the dependent resources, which is so much better than nope. Which is basically what the error message said before.
So it'll help you know what you're depending on. Yep, that's helpful.
So that you can find it and you can go in and you can extract those. And because once you start using content types, it's like a spider web.
Right.
So, I mean, they're very helpful. I don't hear much talk about them anymore, though.
I think we'll get back to it. I think it's a maturity thing. I think when everyone went back to Office 365 or went to Office 365, they weren't modernized. So people went away from them. And now they're getting people are mature enough with Office 365. They're saying things like, I really wish there was a way I could do this. And it's like, well, you can if you use content types. So I think it's a maturity thing. I think we're getting there. Okay. Well, I have one that I love, and this is because if there is one person that is guilty of doing this, this will be me. And I do it all the time, and I do not do it on purpose. Sometimes I do it because I don't want people to know I'm leaving the meeting. I've maybe left to go to lunch. I've maybe left to go pick up the dog. Other times I do it because I think I've left the meeting, but I actually didn't click leave the meeting, but that is automatically end a stale Teams meeting. So if a user is the sole lonely person to remain in the Teams meeting And, sometimes I've done this and it's like 2 hours later and I'm like, crap, I'm still in that Teams meeting.
And the recording is still recording you sitting there, not there.
Been there, done that. Oops. They will see a dialogue that's going to prompt them to end the call. And guess what? If no action is taken, Teams is going to automatically end the meeting. So I'm happy about that development piece because, I accidentally do that. And it's never on purpose. Like I never intend to necessarily do it. It's more like an accidental thing. And I'm sure that if I'm accidentally doing it, the whole world's
Something
accidentally
else.
doing it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure the telemetry on that is, why do we have all of these last minute people staying in meetings? And then I'm
Right.
sure the telemetry on that was, it probably got to a point where it's like, how much would it take to develop that? Okay, let's see how much we're wasting in people staying in meetings. Okay, we crossed the threshold, let's develop something. So I'm excited that one is getting developed. Says, release in August. So should be coming soon. So we'll see what's going there. And that's in the DoD and worldwide and GCCH and GCC. So that's kind of coming everywhere. So I'm excited about that one.
There was one other one that I wanted to bring up, and that's Microsoft Teams Q&A. And that's question and answers for Teams webinars and meetings. By enabling Q&A to any Teams webinar or meeting through meeting options, the meeting organizers will be able to create either moderated or unmoderated Q&A experiences. Now, what I think is interesting is it's calling out Yammer with this along with Microsoft Teams.
I saw that.
So I don't know if they're going to be using Yammer to do this. I would think it would just be a version of the Microsoft Chat or the live event Q&A that they would dumb down to use in webinars and meetings.
Yeah.
But that's due out in July, but that's only coming out to the World Wide Web. That's not coming out to DoD, GCC, or GCC High.
Yeah.
There's one item that I'll mention, and Microsoft Teams pre-assign channel members to breakout rooms. This is interesting. You'll have the ability for the organizer to pre-assign participants to a breakout room within channel meetings for channel members not explicitly invited to the meeting. Currently, pre-assignment can only be done for participants invited to the meeting. So I guess what you could do is you could say, okay, I'm going to set up this meeting out here, and there's 20 people who are part of this channel who would see the invite if you don't send it specifically to them. And you go out and say, okay, I'm going to assign these 5 and these 5 and these 5 and these 5. They may show up, they may not see it. That's fine, but you can get them out there and prepped in case they do show up. Again, I'm not really sure how that works from a use case scenario. How often would you need to put people in a room if you haven't already invited them? Because in my way of thinking, you're probably doing this for people you've invited to a meeting to begin with. But I think it just gives you one more option to set things up if for some reason maybe you're setting everything up beforehand and then you're going to send out invites to everybody. I don't know, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility in that area. This is for worldwide and GCC, and you should be seeing it in August.
Yeah. Another one that I think is good is external access chat invitation flow for managed organizations. So
Yeah.
when receiving a one-on-one chat from an external users, Teams user will now see an invitation to accept or block the external user. And this also provides the ability to block external users at any point, which will revoke access to presence and incoming messages. So instead of just giving, a user, hey, free reign to chat or not chat, based on whatever, when someone sends me a message to chat, I can say chat with this person or not chat with this person.
Right.
So it's giving more granularity to the individual people when they're chatting, which is a good thing because, maybe the admins do not know, yes, external users should chat or can't chat.
Right.
Maybe it's up to the people they're working with. So I think that's a good change there. So that's good to see. So that's in development there. So anything else in development? There's something with Edge about a sidebar search. So it's a discover and a search. So I think they're making something with a sidebar. So I think that's something that we're probably going to want to watch, because if something's coming from the top to the side or something's changing there might be some edge changes coming. They've been pretty good with that, I think, from a usability standpoint. So I'm guessing whatever they come up with will be pretty natural. And so it will either be pretty natural and helpful, or it won't be bothersome and in the way. So I don't
Right.
think it will be disruptive to everyone's workday. So it'll either be a new tool that people just kind of naturally start to use, or it will be non-disruptive, will be my guess. They've been really good about those types of changes. But there's some stuff there in development about a sidebar for discovery and search. But I don't know too much about that. Anything else you guys see there, or should we move to rolling out?
The rolling out and launch, which is like 4
Rolling
items total between the two of them.
All right. Well, who wants to cover or jump into rolling out? Tom, we'll start with you. We've started with you on the last one. We'll start with you on this one.
Okay. Most of these things are things that we've talked about before because they are in rolling out stage. But SharePoint improvements to SharePoint pages authoring, column reflow, and RSS connector web part. So if you're dealing with like 2-column layouts in a web page, it used to be that if you had a smaller screen or if you went to mobile, it would start to stack them. Now you're going to have more control over how those are actually going to interact with the screen size that you have. Also, if you're using the RSS connector web part, you're going to have more control over the number of publications shown at a time and the number of articles showing per publication. Can't talk today. This should be out anytime this month now because it has the July date on it, and it's GCC High, DoD, GCC, and worldwide. So everybody should be getting this one.
All right, Tamara, I'll let you go next, and I'll take whatever's left.
All right, whiteboard, Bing image search. The ability to search online images through Bing is coming soon to a whiteboard near you. Whiteboard Web, Teams, and the Windows app. And this service can be controlled by the optional connected experiences policy, which controls whether users have access to the functionality. And this is rolling out worldwide in July, so it's coming out now. But again, remember, just because you find an image on Bing does not mean that it's not copyrighted and that you can use it. So just be aware that licensing still applies and your mileage may vary.
And then finally, Outlook is making some changes to the delegate across or access control on protected emails. So Outlook is going to provide consistent access control on protected emails for delegates and shared email boxes. So to be a delegate of an email box, I have to have access to everything. And so what they're doing is just making sure that if I have an email box and I need Tom to be my delegate, he can have access to everything. But if I have protected emails in there, whether they're protected by ad hoc or they're protected by MIP, Tom necessarily shouldn't or doesn't have access to those. They're going to make it consistent so that he doesn't have access to those. And so they're just making some controls in there and making sure that they're still protected and controlled, and that Tom should only have access to what he needs to have access to, but can still act as my delegate, where I'm asking him to be my delegate. So I'm just putting those controls in. And then finally, the last one, this is in launched. And this is Microsoft Project chart views. So this is just adding in some visually views, some views that allow you to look at your stuff in charts and show updates for your project. And that's just in the worldwide cloud, so enterprise cloud. So those are our updates this week. Nothing in canceled, hardly anything in launched. Not surprising, guys. This is week number 2 of the new Microsoft fiscal. So everybody is relaxing from ending the year out strong. So this is typical for July. So very few updates, but easy peasy.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll be back next week with another set of updates, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.